So, Anthony, we're all set? We're good? All right. Good morning, everyone. I see everyone's having such a good time catching up. I think as we're coming out of COVID, we're getting our socialization skills re-engaged. But thanks is appropriate for a transit agency. We always have to do a safety briefing, by the way. So in case of any emergency, there's an exit down there. And that way, and just follow New Jersey Transit Police, which are on the perimeter, in case anything comes up. So, now for the program, certainly want to thank everyone for coming out and joining us today. This really is the beginning of a new, more environmentally friendly and sustainable era for Camden and ultimately all of New Jersey. First, I want to thank our speakers for joining us this morning, particularly United States Congressman Donald Norcross, representing New Jersey's 1st District. My friend and colleague in state government, Commissioner of New Jersey's Department of Environmental Protection, Sean LaCharette. And a good friend of New Jersey Transit's here in Camden, the Honorable Victor Kostarfin, the mayor. And basketball legend, but that's another story. And certainly close to our heart, New Jersey Transit board member and Cherry Hill Councilwoman, Sangeeta Doshi. And Senior Vice President for Surface Transportation and General Manager of NJ Transit's bus operations, Mike Kilcoyne. And also do want to give a shout out to Labor ATU, which is our great partner in Labor, and Orlando Riley from the NJ State Council is right here. So. And we were just talking, Orlando, going through the whole pandemic, what we did as an organization, but, particularly frontline members, ATU, never forget them. So let us take a moment also to thank the other distinguished guests here. I won't go through the whole list, but representing healthcare, transportation, and sustainability in the greater Camden area. So this really is a historic day for NJ Transit. Today, under the leadership of Governor Murphy and NJT Commissioner and our board chair, Diane Gutierrez-Gaschetti, who unfortunately can't join us today, we're introducing New Jersey Transit's first electric bus right here in the city of Camden. I think the congressman and I were talking about like the Wright Flyer when the Wright brothers started, that one little plane. Who knew what would the change or what the impact it would make? And this represents seriously a significant milestone in our goal to achieve 100% zero-emission bus fleet by 2040, fully aligned with Governor Murphy's Energy Master Plan. In addition to celebrating this first electric bus, we'll be introducing 7 more electric buses to the greater Camden area in the coming months. And all of this is made possible through another milestone, which we celebrated right here with many of you this past March, when we completed the installation of this charging infrastructure at our Newton Avenue Bus Garage here. We chose Camden as the first place to introduce electric buses for a few important factors. First, like many densely populated cities in the state, Camden disproportionately bears the burden of ongoing effects of climate change and emission, particularly from vehicles. Camden also provides the ideal route structure and topography to test our electric buses under real-world conditions and analyze how they perform before expanding electric buses to the other parts of the state. So as we will be providing an essential service to the people of Camden, we'll also be collecting invaluable data on the effects of weather, passenger volume, road conditions, and other factors on our electric buses, see how they perform, including all these conditions, and how they impact the travel range on a single charge. The information we glean from this project will be critically important because Camden is only the first stop on our road transitioning to 100% zero-emission bus fleet. This past March, our board approved the first phase of our bus garage modernization program, through which New Jersey Transit will renovate and transform all 17 of our bus garages to support future zero-emission buses, as we have done here in Camden. The first phase includes the renovation of our Hilton garage in Maplewood to accommodate a similar battery electric bus deployment to serve the Newark region. In addition to all the current NJ Transit garages that will be renovated to support electric buses, we are working on a large-scale, innovative, and transformational project through which we will build a new bus garage that will accommodate up to 500 buses, and that is New Jersey Transit's Northern Bus Garage, currently under design, which will not only provide increased storage and maintenance capacity to serve the New York City market, it will be built from the ground up with the necessary infrastructure to support 100% zero-emission bus fleet. And just last month, our board approved a contract for a zero-emission bus system design and investment planning study. This study will complement our comprehensive garage modernization program and focus on bus systems design and capital investing planning, creating standards and best practices to modernize our services. All these infrastructure investments are being complemented by New Jersey Transit's recently announced New Bus Burlington-Camden-Gloucester, or New Bus BCG project, first of its kind initiative that is assessing the performance of 27 bus routes serving the region, as well as the demographic trends and emerging development patterns. We appreciate all the feedback we've received from the first two New Bus BCG public meetings, as well as from the outreach events we held this past summer at bus stops at Avondale Park and Ride, Walter Rand Transportation Center, and then several other stops in the study area. Now, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a steadfast advocate for New Jersey Transit, a key member of the congressional delegation that was instrumental in securing more than $4 billion in COVID relief funding for New Jersey Transit, and I cannot stress how that is the difference between being in a disastrous situation and having been able to ride through the pandemic and providing full service to get the economy as it's coming back, and being here now for coming back. Cannot thank the congressman enough, and certainly someone we'll be looking to for support as we go after the federal grants. And there's a big, as everyone knows, a lot of money out there in the IIJA, particularly pursuing to fund our zero-emission bus program. So I'd like to now have the congressman come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Kevin. It is a great day to be here, and I look out in the audience and see so many friends. Certainly, so it's great. Miss Zero Emissions is what we typically talk about her when she does what she does in Cherry Hill, but brings that knowledge, that experience to New Jersey Transit. So, Sangeeta, great to see you again. To my mayor, my current mayor, my former mayor, who understands on a very human level what this green machine behind us means. For us growing up, the first thing you think of a bus is don't get behind it because of the exhaust coming out. Then it's the noise. But that was the best available technology in its time. Yesterday, we said goodbye to a great leader from New Jersey, Jim Florio, who was an environmentalist before that word was even crafted, who understood what this planet meant to the people of yesterday, today, and more importantly, for tomorrow. He would be proud to see something like this in his home city of Camden. What this means for the folks who live in this area, making substantial change. So, Kevin, for what you, the board, and the employees, who I just want to take a moment to say thank you for working what I called the Petri dishes during a pandemic. We lost a lot of people, but they kept coming to work because they knew they had a higher calling. That's true public service. Let's give all the employees a round of applause. So it's not often that you'll hear me get up in front of a podium and start talking about South Jersey's first. Those in South Jersey know what that means, but we are first here. Thank you, Kevin. But for reasons that only God should figure out, because we're a little bit flatter down here than they are up north, but we're a great place to start learning how to implement the technology that is going on here. In Washington, over the course of the last couple of years, we've had some really important pieces of legislation, meaningful, impactful for real people. We had a pandemic. So we wanted to make sure that there was money in the pockets, the vaccines were available, that the unemployment continued. But more importantly, while we were doing that, we could continue America to grow. And the investments and what we see here today were part of that. We passed the Infrastructure Act. Why is that important? Because the largest investment in green technologies was part of that. And then most recently, the Inflation Reduction Act. $360 billion. That's part of the grants that you're going to not only go for, but you're going to get, because New Jersey Transit is leading the way here. That is so important, because whether it's New Jersey Transit, the local school buses, how important it is. But this is a transition. You don't throw a switch, no pun intended, overnight and have our economy change from a carbon base to a clean base, whether it's hydrogen or in this case electric. It takes time and it takes partnerships. The amount of electricity that is going to be needed to run a bus fleet, not just here in Camden, but across the state, is substantial. And this is where I need to thank the administration, Sean. If he's here anymore, I'm thinking he's living here, because there's not a day to go by that you're not announcing or cutting the ribbon for another great environmental project. So, Sean, for what you continue to do and to be that voice in the governor's ear is incredibly important. Let's give him a round of applause for what he does. Because it takes leadership, and it's going to take power. Yes, there are 218 lawyers in Congress and only one electrician. So that gives me that unique advantage of understanding what it takes to put these together. And the men and women who did phase one. But we need that power to come from a clean source. And what we're doing offshore with the wind power is number one in the United States. What that's going to provide for us is a clean, safe, and constant power source. That's incredibly important. That Jersey is looking at the whole person, and it takes a team. So I look at my mayor who, along with Sean, is announcing not just a talk, but these are real projects that are going on. And so that the next generation, when your kids are growing up, when they get behind a bus, they're going to say, wow, we don't have to go around it because it's dirty. It's something we want to follow, and that's where we are with New Jersey Transit, following their lead. Thank you for what you do, and everybody, let's get on the clean bus.
Thank you, Congressman. Sean, I hate to tell you, I hate to do this to you, but having to speak after the congressman is tough duty, right? But no, seriously, now I'd like to welcome up our Commissioner of New Jersey Transit, as introduced earlier, Sean LaTourette. And I would say if there's anybody who's a real partner with us, who understands that transit, aside from being the underpinning for equity for people with mobility who don't have cars necessarily, but for every bus, even a diesel bus, if you have 60 people, that's 60 people on a bus, or on our articulated 100 people on a bus that aren't out in cars. Even as we run today, the best thing for reducing our carbon footprint is getting more people, riding transit. And if there's one person who really appreciates and knows that and has been a great supporter, and I would also point out that gave us $8 million to fund our EV bus effort. With Sean has been great partner. So, Sean, you want to come up and say a few words?
Well, good morning, Camden. Oh, come on, you do better than that. Good morning. All right. Mayor, even on a rainy day, the sun is shining in this city. And I appreciate your leadership. I went to law school here, much like Governor Jim Florio. May he rest in the power he left us all. And it's like home to me in a lot of ways. And I so appreciate our partners at New Jersey Transit for helping to make this city cleaner so that people can breathe more easily, right? Because that's why we are pursuing the electrification of our bus fleet throughout the state, starting here, right? Because diesel emissions impact the health of the communities through which our buses travel, whether that's a school bus or a rapid transit bus or a New Jersey Transit bus. And so by transitioning to a zero emissions fleet, we will improve the local air quality and ultimately the health of people, and most importantly, our children. And for the effort that has gone into equipping this facility to take on this new challenge, I say thank you. It's our pleasure at the Department of Environmental Protection to have seeded this path, but it's a path that New Jersey Transit is charging down the way they have historically, providing opportunities for people to get where they need to be outside of cars, right? That's environmentalism. That is creating the pathway, whether you're on a train or a bus, to reduce the overall pollutant load that we all together create from driving cars. And we're on a long-term trajectory here, right? It's not going to happen overnight in terms of making sure that every bus is zero emission, electric or otherwise, so that we continue to improve upon our air quality in this state. We're not going to flip a switch and abandon fossil fuels, but we're going to get there one planful and purposeful step after another. And as you can see from the folks gathered here today, we're going to do that together, right? Because it takes partnership, right? The path to progress is paved with partnership. And so to the congressman who is fighting for us and ensuring resources come back to New Jersey, whether it's from the American Rescue Plan, COVID relief dollars, from the Inflation Reduction Act, or the bipartisan infrastructure law, these are seismic opportunities to improve the well-being of our communities. So thank you. And we need folks like our county commissioners and our mayor to help deploy that funding in a way that really serves people. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here to do, right? And no one here needs me to say, but I'll say it anyway, that we're confronting real, serious, lived issues today because of climate change. Right? This rain that's been falling for multiple days in a row, I'm happy that it's resolving to some degree our drought conditions. But on the flip side of that are localized flooding issues that folks in this city know all too well. Though the mayor and I were just talking about a great job has been done in cleaning the sewer systems, so it does not backing up as much. Right? The more that the further we move forward down the road, those conditions will worsen. Right? But what's, I think, really important and hopeful is that we get to decide how much worse. We get to decide that by investing our time and our dollars and our efforts in making changes like this. So to every employee of New Jersey Transit who has labored on this, I know it's time intensive and I know it's expensive and that changing the way of doing business is hard. Keep at it. Keep at it, because we're all on this transition together, and because that's where our economy is going. And it's just a matter of whether we'll let it drag us or whether we go along and lead, and that's what New Jersey Transit is doing. So congratulations, Kevin, to you and your team, to Commissioner Scicchetti, a fierce warrior for ensuring good transportation in this state. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And speaking, Sean, to your point of staying at it and driving and persevering, there's one person on our board who is good at doing that, both not just for South Jersey, although she is legendary for that, but is also for the whole state for New Jersey Transit, a fierce advocate, Councilwoman Doshi, and she's been on our board since back, I guess, 2020, and we're very lucky to have her and appreciate all she does both for South Jersey and the entire state. So, Sangeeta, you want to come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here today with Congressman Norcross, Vice President Mike Kilcoyne, Chairman of the ATU New Jersey State Council, Orlando Riley, and all the stakeholders and officials that are here with us. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for coming. Former Mayor, thank you. When we are all gathered here back in March celebrating the installation of the charging infrastructure, I shared that in addition to serving as a New Jersey Transit Board member representing the interests of South Jersey, I'm also on the board's Energy and Sustainability Committee. Of course, I also serve as a councilwoman on Cherry Hill Township Council. I also shared my passion for our environment and ensuring that business decisions at New Jersey Transit are made with a focus on sustainability and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So you can imagine my excitement today to announce the introduction of New Jersey Transit's first electric bus that'll soon enter service here, right in Camden. I applaud New Jersey Transit for continually to steadily advance our zero-emission bus program that has led to this day. During my tenure as a board member, I'm pleased to share that we have been part of 4 very important board votes that authorize the continued advancement of New Jersey Transit zero-emission bus program. We awarded the construction of the charging garage here at the Newtown Bus Garage. In October 2021, we approved the purchase of the agency's first 8 electric buses, one of which is gleaming right behind me. And in March of this year, we approved the award to begin the first phase in New Jersey Transit's bus modernization program. And last month, we approved a contract that will initiate a zero-emission bus system design and investment planning study, a study that complements our garage modernization program and a focus on bus system design and capital investment. I'm particularly pleased that our first pilot program is taking place here right in South Jersey and in Camden. Kevin mentioned earlier that it can't be overstated that large urban cities are disproportionately affected by the effects of climate change and specifically greenhouse gas emissions. Anytime we can improve the experience for New Jersey Transit customers while improving the environment by reducing our greenhouse gases is a plus in our carbon footprint, and especially in Camden. Aligned with New Jersey Transit's commitment to the environment, we also continue to advance the creation of the first ever sustainability plan at New Jersey Transit through additional public input. So on August 4th, we're holding a public webinar for the results of New Jersey Transit surveys that sought input on sustainability themes and aspects for inclusion in this plan. I commit to all of you as a New Jersey Transit board member, and I will not stop advocating for socially and environmentally responsible public transit, not just for South Jersey, but for all of New Jersey residents. I am pleased with New Jersey Transit's commitment and progress with regard to advancing the sustainability goals and pledge to continue to keep the agency focused on sustainability moving forward. And I'd just like to end with one of my favorite Native American proverbs, that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. So thank you. With that, I'll turn it back to Kevin.
Great. Thank you, Sangeeta. Now, the congressman mentioned, a number of reasons why we selected Camden to launch our first electric bus program. But one of the things that he did not mention is that fact that we have such a great partnership with the city of Camden, and particularly Mayor Kostarfin, for all you've done working with us on small issues, large issues. You certainly were with us here when we did when we had the event in March, and thanks for everything you do. And certainly, as I say, the part of the hidden ingredient in the sauce that really makes this all work. So, Mayor, will you please come up and say a few words?
Thank you. I want to know what hidden ingredient I have for that sauce, though. I love that. I got to use that one. Listen, today, this is a historical day for the city of Camden. So historical that you look around this room, it's some important people here that have come together to make moments like this happen. I got my congressman here, my commissioner, La Tourette. I'm going to start calling you Camden's commissioner. As our congressman said, I got our senator here, our great Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez in the House. I have former mayors here, Red, Bass Levin, our council persons are here, our commissioners are here today. This is a great day for Camden because it's historical. You know, you've heard Congressman and Commissioner speak before me about how important it is to continue to fight towards reducing emissions. This first electrical bus is headed in that direction, and we're making a statement in the city of Camden with NJ Transit and our partnerships of making this direction go the direction it needs to be going. Our governor, our congressman, NJ Transit working together, moving us in this direction. This is legacy building. I think someone mentioned earlier about what the future looks like. Our youth. I was at a funeral. It's a great celebration yesterday. A great governor who I've gotten to know the last 3 years, Governor Florio, and talking about his legacy, his body of work, and his fight towards environmental justice. And I think about 20, 30 years from now, when we're at that zero emission state, when our kids, our youth that we're fighting for, our leadership that's here today, about the caring. Leadership's about caring. This is about our future and our kids. Somebody 30 years today is going to talk about this moment. They're going to look back and say, I remember when the first electrical bus happened in Camden. I remember the people that were involved in that. I remember our great congressman came in, the mayor was talking, that crowd. Somebody's going to be Vic Karstarf and sitting there looking at someone's life and talking about how leadership people came together, working together, creating funding, caring, talking about what we have to do as a community, state, federal, local, to make things like this happen. So as the mayor, I'm excited, I'm happy because I was here, what was it, a year ago, Congressman? Not even a year ago, talking about this mission right here, and here we are. And that's what happens when individuals come together for one common goal. I call it Team Camden. I might be a little ingredient, but everybody plays an ingredient in this part. Everybody in this room, NJ Transit, everyone works together. You're a big part of this melting pot we call Camden. And things like this, first, historical things like this, battery electric buses, we'll all remember this because there's going to be so much more. We'll continue to fight to make this happen and continue to fight to reduce emissions in our community, in particularly urban communities. So thank you all. As the mayor, as your point guard of this great team, I'm happy and humble. So let's keep on pushing, as I always say, Camden strong, and it continues to be strong because of folks like y'all. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And I think that sports analogy really sort of touched on, whatever the secret ingredient is, whether it be this, whether it be Walter Rand, as far as knowing how to work as a team, but also making sure that team gets across the line to victory. So really appreciate everything that you do with us. Now I'd like to invite Mike Kilcoyne, our Senior Vice President of Service Transportation and General Manager of Bus Operations. And I'd say just for Mike, before coming up, when I came in almost 5 years ago, and there was no secret New Jersey Transit had just a boatload of problems. We didn't have a 5-year capital plan, and I said to Mike, and obviously well-respected, knowledgeable on bus, and where are we, with bus, or what are the needs of bus? And he said, well, we were sort of discouraged. Why ask? Because you knew you weren't going to get it. There was no point in asking for things like this. And together with our capital projects team, we came up with a really ambitious plan for bus. And Mike has been behind it all the way. And now this is starting to come to fruition. A lot of stuff that Mike was pushing for to make sure we had the best bus transit service, not just with the state to be adequate, but to be the best in the country and be a national leader. So really, Mike, a phenomenal job. Why don't you come up and say a few words?
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank Congressman Norcross, Commissioner LaTourette, Mayor Karstarf, New Jersey Transit Board Member, Cherry Hill Councilwoman Sangeeta Doshi, Chairman of the ATU, New Jersey State Council Orlando Riley, and all of the stakeholders and officials who've joined us here this morning. It wasn't that long ago in March of this year that I was standing before many of you, marking the completion of the installation of the charging infrastructure here at our Newton Avenue garage. To be here today, less than 7 months later, to introduce the first electric bus in New Jersey Transit's fleet that will soon be picking up passengers in Camden is incredibly exciting. Next week, we'll be hosting our first responders at the Camden County Fire Academy to familiarize them with the bus technology. This includes fire, police, emergency responders. This bus does have high voltage. To give you a little bit of an early timeline, the week of October 17th, we will complete our driver and maintenance training and expect to begin picking up passengers the week of October 24th on the 452 route. From an operations perspective, we're looking forward to studying how these buses perform under real-world conditions. And as we begin to understand the ranges under our real-world conditions, we'll be expanding this to the routes 455 and 457 in the coming weeks. Over the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to learn from the deployments of electric buses at other transit agencies, both nationally and internationally. That's allowed us to learn from the varying degrees of successful deployments, which has helped shape our own roadmap to transitioning to a zero-emissions bus fleet. But there's no substitute for the deployment of these buses on existing routes to predict how this relatively new technology will perform. What's so exciting about getting this bus into service is we'll get to observe and analyze how it performs in varying weather conditions and temperatures, along with actual road conditions, inclines, stop-and-go traffic, picking up passengers, etc. And as we continue to advance our plan for the future expansion of electric buses across the state, all of the data we're collecting here in Camden, which includes an additional 7 electric buses that will be deployed in the coming months, hopefully by the end of the year, will be invaluable. So I'm very pleased with the way our zero-emissions bus program is continuing to advance steadily and responsibly to ensure we maintain service reliability for our customers throughout our transition to zero bus emission technology. I want to thank Governor Murphy, NJDOT Commissioner and New Jersey Transit Board Chair Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti, President and CEO Corbett, Board Member Doshi, along with the entire New Jersey Transit Board of Directors for their continued leadership and support for this. And Congressman Norcross, along with our entire New Jersey delegation and New Jersey State Legislature for their continued advocacy and support for the necessary funding that allows us to continue to advance our zero emissions bus program. And on the subject of funding, in addition to our partners at the FTA, I'm certainly grateful for the significant funding that the NJDEP provided to make this 8-bus deployment possible here in Camden. And of course, I truly want to thank the chairman of the ATU New Jersey State Council, Orlando Riley. The partnership and support of labor leadership and the men and women of the ATU who kept our state moving through the pandemic will be critical to continue keeping it moving as we transition to a zero-bus fleet. With that, I'll turn it back to Kevin. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mike. And now for our last speaker, I would say some of you know I'm married to a doctor, and I confess, like I would guess most of us, we don't always listen to our doctor. But there's one doctor you really do need to listen to, and that is I'd like to bring up Lisa Chartato, who is the head of the Tri-County Sustainability Air Quality Committee. Please come up and say a few words.
Thank you to all the leadership here, and thank you for the opportunity to share the health voice. This is a huge step forward for clean energy in the state and signals an enormous health benefit for our patients. We all want safe and healthy communities, and clean buses represent part of that innovative and transformative change that New Jersey is experiencing. As a physician, I can see firsthand the impacts of air pollution, and framing clean energy as a health and equity issue humanizes the topic. Clean buses and clean energy are part of an important preventative health agenda in the state. It's relevant whether we're seeing patients, children with asthma or respiratory infections, cancer, myocardial infarctions, heart attacks, strokes, preterm birth, low birth rate, strokes, hypertension, cognitive impacts. It really impacts almost every organ system. And it's been estimated that air quality and environmental factors leads to an estimated 1 in 5 premature deaths globally. Electric buses advance healthy communities. As a physician and as a mother, I welcome these changes to New Jersey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. That certainly does keep in mind that it's not just about the physical buses or the infrastructure or our trains. It's about our riders and our fellow citizens. So with that wraps up the program. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us, and on our first step of this journey to 100% zero emission bus fleet. At this time, I think Anthony takes some on-topic press questions. And then after that, we'll be take some pictures in front of the bus, and then we'll have for some of us take a short trip on the bus, so we'll get the official first bus ride. And we also have one of New Jersey Transit's top drivers, a competitive rodeo champion over there. Mike will be taking us around, so it'll be a special trip. With